Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sam the SLB. Alongside me today is the man behind the Twitter. The other half is Operation Vince McMahon's voice of reason. Scott, we are coming to you from Above the Ring, Ship It Studios' premier wrestling podcast covering all things from AEW to WWE worldwide. Folks, we are back. It's 2022. Sorry, I'm a little quiet. I am currently still on sabbatical, as Scott was saying. And currently have a couple people sleeping in the house I'm at. So I'm kind of low. We can't party and rage like we were expecting, but once we're back in the frozen wasteland we all know as New England, yeah, we will be as rowdy as we have been. Scott, we've been waiting for this. We got a lot to talk about. How have
We
you been,
certainly
buddy?
do, sir. It's glad to have you back. I know that you can be quiet. Me, I can be as rowdy as I want to be because I'm in my frozen wasteland.
Yeah, Scott here. You just bought, he has a Nintendo Switch OLED. He's staying up past 10 o'clock now. He's a wild man right now, guys. We might have to have an intervention for him he just bought he did the pre-order for WWE 2K22, right?
I did. I bought the NWO edition because I like to just throw my money away. So, hey, it works.
You've seen my house. You want to talk about throwing money away? I
No,
am.
no. You're a collector, Sam. There's a difference here.
I am. Well, we got a lot of news to talk about to kick off. There's been a lot that has gone on. If you haven't already done so, make sure you go back and listen to Scott's Raw Review, NXT Narrative, and SmackDown Study that drop on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, respectively. I also believe you did some AEW stuff while I was away to kind of keep everyone in the loop.
I did for Twitter. I did not do any podcasts for it. I just had too much going on in real life, so I just stuck with Twitter. So the majority of the people that watched along with me, they followed along. It was pretty good. Twitter's been getting pretty active lately, and it makes me very happy.
It is. It's glad to see you guys getting all excited again. Make sure you do that. Make sure you check out our buddies at Back to the Ring, another wonderful wrestling podcast. Ship It Studios. Also find us on Good Pods if you guys use the Good Pods app. It's a wonderful application, and we're kind of like pushing the top of the charts there. So if you guys decide to use the app, check it out. Find us. Tell people about Ship It Studios and Above the Ring. But let's get right into it. There's a lot we need to cover. First and foremost, what I want to bring up. A lot's happened. A lot has happened, and a lot is going to happen. Going end of this month, going into even into March, deep into March, April. I mean, we're on the road to WrestleMania.
Yes, sir.
Revolution's around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Impact, NWA, so much. So I want to start off with, first and foremost, big news. Ring of Honor announced for the 20th anniversary that they're going to be doing a Hall of Fame. So, as we all know, I think Ring of Honor is probably the king of the independent scene. I would be more than happy to say that.
Yep.
When I think independence, I think Ring of Honor. GCW slowly making its way up there, but Ring of Honor's been the staple since the end of the Monday Night Wars.
Yep.
The first announcement into this Hall of Fame, is rightfully so, is the Briscoes.
Absolutely.
I was thinking this morning, and we will get into it a little later. There's three people I think of when I think of Ring of Honor. It's the Briscoes and Jay Lethal.
Yep.
So, I have a lot of questions, though. I have a lot of questions there. They've announced the Hall of Fame. They are coming back for the Supercard of Honor in early April.
Yep.
What else? So what is their plan? What is their plan going forward if we're establishing a Hall of Fame?
Oh, well, I mean, if they're establishing a Hall of Fame, it sounds to me like they are coming back like full tilt. They're going. And if that's the case, then that's fantastic news. I'm very much looking forward to the main event of Supercard of Honor, where it's going to be Jonathan Gresham versus Bandito to unify the Ring of Honor championships. That match is going to be absolute insanity.
Yes, it is, man. There's so much going on right now. So many and that's the other thing. There's so much Ring of Honor talent that has gone to Impact, that has gone to AEW.
Yep.
We just saw Mickie James come out with the Impact. No, sorry, I keep saying the woman. The Knockouts title at the Royal Rumble.
That was that was fantastic. And the fact that she didn't just get immediately eliminated, kind of like what happened, unfortunately, to Melina, coming out as, part of NWA. She was there for 5 seconds, and then I don't know if that was a mistake that she got eliminated so quickly, but it was nice to see her, the whole entrance and everything. I was just like, oh God, I'm getting blasted back to the early 2000s here.
When she was part of Eminem.
Right, exactly. It's just it's a little upsetting that John Morrison's no longer with the company, because I think that would have been a cool moment to see those two in the back.
It would have been. Ruthless Aggression era was actually quite the time, I think.
It was good. It was definitely a good like next era after the Attitude Era.
Especially with tag teams. There were a lot of tag teams.
Yep. Tag teams were real hot. It was nice to see an actual influx of new stars. You know, you had like Cena, you have Batista, you have Randy Orton. You know, it's nice to see that they actually did a great job bringing in new talent, and it mixed well with the Attitude Era talent. And then as, you know, Attitude Era guys kind of faded away, the Ruthless Aggression era just kept on going, and it was, they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, so I'm really curious. There's so much to speculate. I don't want to sit here and speculate all day. You and I could be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
We currently don't have the technology right now while I'm on leave to do our fantasy booking, but I know off the phones, you and I will be having some major discussions about some of this.
Oh, yes.
Because we're not done. We've only started today. We've had some returns. We've had some controversial things going on this week. One of them is Jon Moxley has returned to the ring.
Yes.
For the first time since going into treatment.
Mm-hmm.
It was great to see him. He looked great. We'll talk about that when we talk to Dynamite. But he also announced his return to another company, Scott.
Yep. Be returning to New Japan. Oh, man.
So when I was looking for articles for us to talk about, and, you know, I try to, you know, pick and choose.
Mm-hmm.
Try to pick and choose. So I came across this because of the headline, and I have to watch his promo after. But the article says, okay, Moxley demands that New Japan Pro Wrestling bring the best wrestlers to the event in Chicago. That is coming up.
Yep.
That is coming up. Including Hiroshi Tanahashi, Shingo Takagi, and Kazuchika Okada.
Yep. The Boogeyman wants everybody, and completely. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He wants arguably one of the greatest in the world.
Yep.
One of the greatest, if I'm not mistaken. And again, I've been all over the place, guys. I've been in Florida. I've been in Georgia. I believe currently he's the reigning. Is he the reigning?
I believe he's the current
IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
Yep.
And he's a five-time. If I see Okada do a spinneroonie in the middle of the ring, I lose my like.
A rain-making spinneroonie.
And he's young. He's only 34, so.
Oh my God, he still has so much time.
You're looking at probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time that we're experiencing.
Yeah.
So, enough of my ogling over Okada in New Japan. Speaking of the best in the world, we're kind of following currently the situation that has to do with a good, considered the best in the world, Mr. Shane O'Mac himself, who was supposedly released quietly from the company. Granted, I mean, he's he ever with the company? Has he ever left the company? He's just, follows the fucking company.
Just kind of there. Yeah, I don't know. Reading up on some stuff, apparently he caused a bit of a commotion at the Rumble, and people got really upset. And now apparently he's been quietly released. I've also seen that morale, I guess, backstage for WWE is at its all-time low, which I guess makes sense. They've changed so many things when it came to the Rumble leading up. Like the last few days, they changed the ending, I think, like 8 or 9 times. It was ridiculous. Of course, everybody talking about that it was supposed to be Riddle that was supposed to win the Rumble. And the fact that it happened in St. Louis, and the fact that he probably would have been the one to eliminate Randy Orton, still makes me so mad, because I had talked about that since like January, like the beginning of the month. even going into last year, talking about how I needed this to happen because I think it was the perfect time. Obviously, because it's in St. Louis, Randy's hometown. And of course, because it would get my buddy Sam over at Know the Ropes to be all pissed off. And I just wanted it to happen. And then, of course, Brock happens. And I'm like, well, screw it.
Yeah, it looks like we're heading towards a collision course between Brock and Roman again.
Yep.
Which is, I think, without getting into it, but, Scott and I decided we weren't doing Mania this year. We were really looking forward to it. And then with the way things have been, we kind of like...
Yeah, we made the correct decision not to go this year, because with that match and Charlotte versus Ronda, it's kind of like, well, both matches are already a foregone conclusion. There's really, If it's not, if we already know pretty much who's going to win, it's like, do I really want to spend all that money to go?
There's very few times where you knew people are going to win.
Yeah.
Where the matches are like worth it. Like, let's talk about we could talk about WrestleMania 35 where Kofi won it from Bryan.
Yep.
Some people, like, you just had that feel. I mean, I guess maybe that's a 50-50 thing, because some people are like, well, they're not going to actually give it to him. And others were like, they're going to give it to him. But the emotional storytelling with that and the journey to get there makes it, even though that ending, it's worth it.
Yeah, Kofi Mania, I think, for me, outside of WrestleMania for Daniel Bryan, was actually one of the best, like, naturally born WrestleMania stories that I've ever seen. And it's unfortunate that it was due to an injury to Mustafa Ali that Kofi even got into the Elimination Chamber. And then Kofi Mania was born, and holy shit, what a ride. What a way to go leading up to it, with Vince putting every roadblock in the way for even like the New Day, like Xavier and Big E had to win like this tag team gauntlet. And you had the iconic moment where the Usos were coming in as they were one of the last ones, and they forfeited so that the New Day could continue on. Like, I'm getting chills now just thinking about that, because it was just... I loved that whole story. They did such a phenomenal job with it, and it makes me mad at the same time, because why can't they do that shit all the time?
Which is crazy, because, like, same thing. Adam Page, we knew he was getting the belt.
Right?
Yeah, but they pushed, like, he got snubbed so many times.
3 years.
3-year buildup. And
3 years.
You thought at one point the Bucks were going to screw him and Kenny was going to win. I mean, even with Kenny's health, you knew that, like, Kenny wasn't going to be able to go. He was going to have to drop that belt.
Right.
But, watching that match, it was incredible. Or even when he wrestled Bryan Danielson the 2 times. Both times you're like, well, first and foremost, you're like, there's no way they're going to let Danielson win. But at the same time, you're like, they're not just going to make him drop the belt now after 3 years.
Right.
That's done correctly.
Yes, that's good storytelling.
Yeah. So, we won't be at Mania. We will definitely be trying to push some other events this year. Scott and I will talk about those shortly. What else did we have on the... Oh, yeah. So about Shane O'Mac, I'm kind of reading an article. I don't want to go too much into this because you and I could speculate all day.
Yep.
Where supposedly somebody at WWE... Okay, according to Keller, who's this? Wade Keller. I don't know what he's from.
The name does sound familiar.
According to Keller, Shane's ego was out of control at the Rumble, and he was confrontational with producers as he allegedly attempted to make himself a centerpiece for that in the Elimination Chamber. Is that the case? I don't know. That company is so messed up right now. It could be true. It could be true. We're not going to take that off the table. But with their history right now, I mean, what's your ego? I mean, like, is he being egotistical, or is this going like he didn't listen to us? He didn't play ball the way we wanted to play ball. Because that's been the thing with WWE in the past, like, say 10 years. Let's say 10. I'll go 10. But in this article, this is the quote I want to really focus on. people in WWE are letting me know that someone should warn Tony Khan what he's in for if he brings Shane in, because the sense of entitlement, and I don't know if ego is the right word, that Shane would bring along with him in a company that isn't WWE would probably be amplified compared to how he had acted on Saturday, which was just basically out of control. So that also sounds like, they want to warn Tony Khan. Or would you want to warn Tony Khan when all you've been doing is shitting on your competition and destroying your own company I don't know. It sounds skeptical. Will he even go over there? I don't know. Whenever he walks away from WWE, he doesn't get involved in wrestling.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This it's still a very interesting time in wrestling because there's still the releases are starting to become free agents again. Tony Khan has already stated that somebody will be walking through the Forbidden Door on Wednesday. So
we're going to talk about that. You want to bring? I was going to wait till Dynamite. We're going to talk about this now, because also at the same time, I know a lot of people are saying the AEW roster is bloated, but remember, we've been around for 3 years now. The company is now starting to, we're looking. I think Joey Janela is gone. I think Marco Stunt is gone. I have a feeling Sonny Kiss will be gone. Peter Avalon will be gone. I think this talent, and it's not necessarily that they didn't get used properly, or maybe they weren't from. It happens with any company.
Yep.
I could get my dream job doing what I want to do. So say, for example, Scott and I, we get our dream jobs. We sign with, I don't know, Sirius Radio to do another show. Cool. Awesome. In 2 years' time, Scott and I might go, yeah, we got to do it, but it wasn't really what we envisioned. Right. So we're going to go elsewhere. We're going to do other things. It happens. We're not attacking any talent here. Anyone, we're just top to bottom management view of things. Because that's what we're about here. We're about here being logical, inconsistent, and not getting all pissy about things. But anyways, Tony Khan had on Wednesday made an announcement. It's at 11:33. This is after Dynamite. Thursday, he actually made this. Now I'm thinking about it. The 4th? No, that was Friday. That was after Rampage.
After Rampage.
I'm mixing things up. The Forbidden Door can be open for anyone for any wrestling promotion in the world, whether it's not a company AEW is on good terms with, even if it's someone from a company that's open for business. They also welcome to slam the door in the face prior to their company. A half hour later, Tony Khan tweets, the big announcement for Wednesday's Dynamite that we reference on AEW Rampage, a free agent debut, and the person walking through the Forbidden Door are one and the same. They're walking in the door, signing a contract, and then slamming the door shut Wednesday on Dynamite. Now, this is where there have been speculations that it is Shane McMahon, which, again, it's not plausible. I don't see it happening. I'm not don't get me wrong, I love Shane O'Mac, but he's not the type of person I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see Shane O'Mac. It would be a swerve. It would definitely be one of those, the Nitro thing, really done.
That's exactly what I was thinking about it. What if? Oh God.
There's that. I saw a Reddit feed going on saying that it's Triple H, which again, I don't see that happening. I don't. But again, we haven't seen anything, but some people know how to be professional about things. But they're talking slam the door. The name that comes up that I am going to pick now, that has come up in the news recently, somebody who was a big name in NXT, went to the main roster and got shut down and released really quickly, is Keith Lee.
I'm ready to bask.
Yeah. There are things, there were some articles I read this week that he's potentially is signing in a deal with AEW.
Yep. I would be very happy with that. Another name I've heard is Killer Cross. Which I think if that's the case, that would also be a fantastic pick. I'd throw him into the House of Black so fast my head would spin. Oh my God.
Would you, if you brought him over, would you bring in Scarlett?
Oh, absolutely.
You have to bring Scarlett.
They are a team. You have to bring them together. That was my main issue with him on the main roster, is that they separated him from Scarlett. And yeah, also, if you bring him into the company, you can immediately throw him into a feud with Adam Cole over what Cole did to him in NXT. The promo alone, where he utterly destroyed Karrion Kross, would be perfect for Killer Kross to come back and destroy Adam Cole. I don't know. Just My brain doing the booking thing. That's just what happens.
Yeah, we still need to do our fantasy booking at some point.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I will make this statement. I think modern day wrestling, Scarlett in Killer Cross. We're gonna call him Killer Cross because he's back on the Indies.
Yep.
Is the best current wrestler valet.
Yes.
Like, that is like when I think of old school WCW, WWF, that's a valet. That's what they used to do.
People need to bring back valets. They serve a great purpose, but they, for some reason, most people don't allow them to actually go to their full potential. AEW tries to do that when they have people with the wrestlers come down, and I can think of like Varsity Blondes with Julia Hart, even though she does wrestle. I can think of the AHFO, Matt Hardy's, when he's not wrestling, he's always out there with his guys. So, I mean, they're kind of doing it, but we need someone who's a dedicated valet, like Smart Mark Sterling. He would be a dedicated valet because I don't believe he wrestles at all for AEW.
Yeah, no, I don't think he has. Yeah, most of them are. I mean, hell, even Vicky Guerrero will get in the ring every so often.
That's true. Yep, Vicky's another good one. I'm trying to think who else. Dan Lambert, I think, even though the crowd tends to not like him, I actually appreciate his ridiculousness, and it works. It gets people talking, and that's what you need. If you hate him, then he's doing his job. End of story.
Agreed. So, last thing before you get right into the news, before you get right into this week's wrestling stuff, I almost forgot about this, but this was like the biggest topic. So Brian Kendrick was one of the release talent from WWE 2 weeks ago, and it was announced he was going to wrestle Jon Moxley.
Yep.
Within hours, he got yanked for offensive comments made in the past.
Yep.
So I went looking, and I was like, okay, maybe they're racial, maybe they're this, maybe they're that. I don't know how to get into this without even like really digging into it. Some of it had to do with the Holocaust, 9/11, Sandy Hook not happening.
Semitic comments, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they were talking about
here we go. Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax, along with 9/11 and the killing of Osama bin Laden. Michael Jackson staged his own death. And there was something else about the Holocaust was overblown. The Red Cross said there was only 250,000 Jews. The number was blew up to justify the creation of Israel.
People need to realize this, and for some reason they don't. The internet is forever, and things that you say, regardless of what you think if they're a good idea or not, people are going to bring them up. Like when I knew as soon as he got released, like this was still in the back of my mind because I remember him talking about these conspiracy theories years ago when he did this, and I'm like, that's a terrible idea. Why would you do that? If you believe it, that's one thing, but keep it quiet. Don't do career suicide, and that's what he did. And of course, the internet, being the internet, is always undefeated. They found it, they brought it up, and Tony Khan's like, "Oh shit, well, I can't have this on my television show," and yanked them.
So the question I have for you, and the question I have for our listeners, without getting into it though, and I know he did the apology after it came out,
right
after he got canned. At what point is it okay for you to? I was thinking about this in the car going to Dunkin', because that's what you do. You do these thoughts. We live in a world where people want peace, but nobody is willing to forgive people when they do wrong. People will crucify you and murder you in the streets if you do wrong. So my question is, where's the fine line between crucifixion, or like, ending somebody's career, and accepting an apology and moving forward? That's and I get it. I do ask this because those, from my understanding, those were like from 10 or so years ago. It's like the James Gunn thing. James Gunn, when he was directing Guardians of the Galaxy, got canned because he said things years ago which were considered jokes online. And then somebody found him. They came back. They canned him, even though Disney already knew about them prior.
Yep.
We could thought of the day. My thought of the day.
Yeah, I don't know. It
agree? No. With what he said, no.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
But if somebody says something dumb like that, okay, we won't get it. We that's my thought.
Well, yeah,
That's
we'll leave it as an open-ended question for people to talk about. But yeah, it's those touchy subjects, and just yeah, I don't know. I knew it would come back to bite him, and when it did, I just looked at it and just says, well, you made the bed, now it's time to lie in it, and unfortunately, there goes your next shot at trying to do anything. So at this point, hopefully he can enjoy retirement, or at least
I
some
strongly
indie
believe
stuff.
though. There's a conspiracy behind the song.
What are you, Sami Zayn now?
Who planted these tweets from 10 years ago, knowing that his wrestling career would be doomed.
It's Andrew, isn't it?
It's all Andrew. Just a heads up, folks. Buddy Andrew that we met through. He's pretty relaxed and he's pretty like nonchalant with anything. When we went to Mania back for 33 in 2017, I think all weekend he was just there and just very quiet and the quiet clap. I'm here. I'm enjoying this. Cool.
Yep.
The only time I ever saw him got rowdy is when Brian Kendrick came out, and he hates Brian Kendrick. I don't remember what the reason was, and
me neither.
Bring him
but
on.
It's just that bitter hatred is just there.
I remember him coming out on SmackDown, and he just gets up. He's like, "Ah!" He's like screaming. It was like the rowdiest he was all weekend. So I'm like, "This is all Andrew. Andrew didn't want Brian Kendrick coming to AEW, so he planted this." That's my conspiracy.
Makes sense. I mean, it totally makes sense.
Well, we got a couple events coming up this next couple of weeks, Scott. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, sorry. Let me back up. We do have to talk about GCW If I Die First.
Yes.
Do you have the card pulled up on your end?
I do.
And we want to shout out to Steven.
Yes. Our boy Steven over on Twitter. He has been giving us all the highlights for GCW. We appreciate you so much for this. So the card is pretty good. Let's see. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches on the card. We had Ninja Mac and Dante Leon defeating Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver. We had John Wade Murdoch defeating ASF. We had a GCW Extreme Championship match with AJ Gray. I just can't speak today. Who was the champion, defeating Ali Catch. We had Speedball Mike Bailey defeating Jimmy Lloyd. Psycho Clown defeating Gringo Loco. We had a scramble match with Atticus Koger defeating Alex Zane, Dark Sheik, Grim Reefer. I like that name. And Deranged. We had Blake Christian defeating Laredo Kid, which we got plenty of gifts from that match. And holy shit. So definitely need to keep an eye on GCW. And your main event. And for this, when I saw this, I freaked out a little bit. We had the debut of Dr. Wagner Jr., legendary luchador. Now, I know Sam hasn't gotten this far yet, but I've seen this man on Lucha Underground, and wow. So he came out and defeated Joey Janela in the main event. So outstanding. I need to keep an eye on this more. So yeah, some good stuff coming up. This company is definitely making waves, and I would probably say close to cracking that top 5 for the biggest wrestling companies in the world.
Yeah, we need to get on this train. This is another one that we've been talking about. I need to go back and there was one at the beginning of the year, end of the year that he was talking about too.
Yep.
Yeah,
there was the one at the Hammerstein. I saw bits and pieces of some of those matches. I almost ordered the pay-per-view, but I changed my mind at the last moment because the championship games were just out of this world. So I chose to stick with that. And, because when you buy pay-per-views every single month, your cable bill goes up a lot. So I gotta rein that in a little bit.
Well, I know they do a lot of them through Fight TV. I don't know if that's any cheaper.
No, it's not. I checked. I thought about that too, but no.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to look into that. Scott and I, we might have to make a pay-per-view fund. We might have to put cash away, responsible couple, and at least we have them so we can talk about them a little more with you guys.
Absolutely.
Another one that's coming up, more like a super card. We have on the 19th, we have No Surrender coming up, and I want to talk I want to talk about this one with Impact. This is going to be in Louisiana, so they are doing some traveling now.
Nice. I like that.
This is going to be... When is this? This is the 19th. I swear they just had a pay-per-view. Did they have a Hard to Kill last month?
They did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because they do that. They have like an actual pay-per-view, and then they have their Impact Plus pay-per-views, and then they go back to regular pay-per-view. Or they do like one and then two on Impact Plus, and then one. So they're finding their footing back into the pay-per-view realm of things. I've been trying to keep tabs on it. I don't have Access TV, so I can't watch it live because I live tweet that too, but I can't. So I try to keep my eye on it to see how everybody's doing, because I really do like Impact Wrestling and I want them to succeed.
Especially with the Ring of Honor invasion going on right now.
Yes.
And Wrestle House too.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. But I want to talk about this card right now. We have 5 matches for the card. Moose versus W. Morrissey for the title. Mickie James versus Tasha Steele for the Knockouts title. Team Impact versus Honor No More. So Team Impact is Eddie Edwards, Chris Sabin, Josh Alexander, Rhino, Rich Swann. And Honor No More is Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, PCO, Vincent, and Kenny King. 10-man tag match. If Honor No More wins, they will remain in Impact Wrestling. If Team Impact wins, Honor No More will be gone.
Which makes sense, because if ROH is coming back, it gives incentive for them to not necessarily win. But if they do, then Impact getting some very, very good talent that's going to be sticking around.
Yeah, and I love this is what I love about the whole thing with Ring of Honor, where everyone's like, yeah, Ring of Honor is going to be going till April, but by the way, like, make sure you like use that name, make sure you know that you're Ring of Honor talent.
Yep.
And they're proud, like they're honored.
Yeah.
Like, no joke, honored to be known as like Ring of Honor talent.
Yep.
And it's incredible. But these are the 2 matches I wanted to make you aware of, Scott, if you hadn't seen the card. We have Eric Young taking on Jay White. But it gets better, Scott. It gets better. Because somebody else came across the Pacific to be in the States. The Good Brothers. Doc Ellis and Carl Anderson taking on Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. The Gorillas of Destiny. GOD.
Oh my. Oh boy.
No. And as much as like I'm like all these other matches are cool, those 2 matches, and to know that they are in the States right now.
Yep. Very excited. I know.
So this is a show I think I might actually watch. And what did my NWA one? We had an NWA one pulled up on my phone, Scott.
Yes, they are having a Power Trip next Saturday. So that should be... I like the fact that they're still going strong. I need to go watch NWA Power on YouTube. I keep forgetting about it because it's been so long since they've been back, and I need to rectify this immediately.
Yeah, what is the card? Do you have the card up too?
No, I need to try to find that.
Let me look right now because I'm curious. NWA Power Trip. I had it up. We were a little thrown off today, folks, because we spent an hour. I had issues with my laptop.
We had some technical difficulties, which is all right. But no, I did find the card.
You found the CAD?
I did find the CAD. 9 matches. So you have Camille taking on Taryn Terrell for the NWA Women's Championship. We have Chelsea Green versus Kylie Ray. 8-person tag match with BLKG's Jordan Clearwater, Marsh Rocket, and Tyrus taking on Rush Freeman, Scion, Alex Taylor, and Mims. There's Kobe Carino versus Rhett Titus. Anthony Mayweather taking on Chris Adonis for the NWA National Championship. There is a Kentucky Sweethearts brawl between the Fixers, which is Jay Bradley and Wrecking Ball Laruski, taking on the OGK of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. There's an I Quit match between Tom Latimer and Nick Aldis. Singles match between Mike Knox and the Pope.
The Pope.
And I love the Pope. And the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship match as Matt Cardona challenges Trevor Murdoch. And I'm telling you, if Matt Cardona wins the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, we will not hear the end from this man. And I hope to God, and no offense to Trevor Murdoch, because I love his old school style wrestling. I need Matt Cardona to win this match.
Matt Cardona is on a trajectory right now. And I know he was going to be hot when he left, but he's on a trajectory that is like Chernobyl.
He is the best independent wrestler out there right now. I will say that. And I will die on that hill. What he has done since he got released from WWE has been nothing short of spectacular. And I absolutely love it. He's reinvented himself in a way. The whole thing with just, oh my God, I everything he's done has just been perfection. And I can't wait to see what he does going forward.
Me too. I'm excited for what Matt Cardona is going to do. I can't wait for him to, oh man. The thing with the NWA, especially the 10 pounds of gold, it has been it's the face of the industry. At one point it was the face of the industry. And also now it's currently the face almost like of the independent scene. Hand in hand with the Ring of Honor title. Okay. The Matt Cardona, I think, should be the guy to replace Nick Aldis. And Trevor Murdoch is great. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Matt Cardona, I think, is the guy to help push the NWA back to higher standards. I
agree.
Up.
I agree.
Well, speaking of higher standards, Scott, it's been a while. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm
ready to talk about what's going on live. Man. Scott, Dynamite. What a show.
Oh my God, what a show.
What a show. It was my first time live tweeting. I had the volume on low, so I definitely had to go back and watch certain things. I didn't realize this card was loaded.
It was.
Well, let's talk about this. Opening match, Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. This was a cool. This was supposed to be the Kendrick match, okay?
Correct.
And I was kind of curious. I'm like, oh, he's gonna squash him. He's gonna squash Wheeler because Wheeler is he's weird at times where he's either going to get squashed, or you get this. What happened here? And
this was a great match.
Wheeler Yuta can play with the best of them. We cannot sleep on him. They cannot sleep on him. They can't throw him away. The Best Friends they were a staple from the start, and they might be one of the best factions out there for a reason.
Yep.
Because of the talent. And Wheeler Yuta cannot be slept on. He looked like he had wrestled, he looked like he belonged with Moxley at his level.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you on that one. Yeah, it was nice to see, because when they announced that it was going to be him when Best Friends music hit, and I was just like, oh, who's it going to be? And then it was Wheeler Yuta. I'm like, ooh, I said, that's a good replacement for Kendrick. I said, this should be fun to watch. And yes, it was.
Yes. But also, I do want to make it known, and Scott and I were going to start a new bit coming, but I want to make it known that he came out with a very nice, very evil addition to the Best Friends, DANHAUSEN. There had been rumors for a while, especially with his feud with Adam Cole online, about DANHAUSEN going to AEW. And I remember I wasn't watching that night, and I just got some text from you. No, I didn't get text from you because I saw tweets, and then I actually hit Twitter and I texted you, I'm like, Scott, did I do what I think I saw? Did AEW just become very nice and very evil? Well,
when Cole went to pull that chair from the outside of the ring during the lights out match with Orange Cassidy, and Danhausen came out with him, I popped as loud as the crowd did, and I was just like, "Oh my God, he's here!" And the whole curse, and then Cole lost. I mean, coincidence? I think not.
no. Very well. What I want to quickly talk about, guys, is Danhausen was we're gonna do this new thing when new talent shows up. It's been a gripe of ours a little bit for a while with AEW, where we need video packages for new talent. Not so much because Scott and I, because that's all we do. We do the digging. We get into the fucking sewers of professional wrestling and learn about this stuff. So when you people don't know, we know, and you're like, "Ha, fucking nerds," and we're like, "Yeah, but you know what? Now you know." So Danhausen has been wrestling since 2013. He worked in a couple different promotions, Full Impact Pro, and obviously Ring of Honor before they canned. At one point, he was a tag team partner with Warhorse as Warhausen.
Yes. Warhorse is another one that he needs to make a comeback to AEW. I know he had, I believe he had one match against Cody when Cody was doing his open challenge to anybody outside of the company. But yeah, Warhorse rules ass, and he deserves another chance at AEW.
He does. Ring of Honor, he signed in 2019, challenged Shane Taylor for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship, and was with the company until they
went on hiatus.
but they went on hiatus end of last year, and now he's part of them. So hopefully going forward, guys, as new talent comes, and whether it be here, whether it be Impact, we want to make sure that we're all bringing this up and we all know who's going, who's what. So I want to do that with Danhausen as the first one because Scott and I have been saying for a long time, Danhausen is there's so much potential with the character, especially with Orange Cassidy. Like, comedy wrestling that is like good. Like, it's not like, oh, it's like cheeseburger. Not okay, I can't knock cheeseburger. Cheeseburger is fun and a great talent. He's not like a jobber, but like they're not jobbers. They're the comedy wrestlers. Like, they'll kick the shit out of you and then make it look good. But we haven't even dug deeper into what happened after this match, Scott. I think I'll let you talk about this quickly because I know you had chills down your spine.
Oh, so this match ends, and Mox gets the victory, and he doesn't get, 2 seconds into this, and who shows up but Bryan Danielson. Now, of course, Danielson's been kind of around Moxley for a while and trying to keep an eye on what's been going on. And of course, all of us in the wrestling world, like, oh my God, they're going to fight each other. This is going to be the greatest feud ever. Oh my God, I can't wait. But Bryan Danielson decides to throw all this on its head and says, instead of us fighting, why don't we fight together? And I just got chills just saying that again, because people, you don't understand what this could turn into. He talked about bringing people under their wing, like Wheeler Yuta, like Daniel Garcia, getting him away from 2.0. I cannot begin to explain the magnitude of, people talk about a shift in the landscape of professional wrestling. I know it's an overused term, but this legitimately could be the greatest thing that has ever happened to AEW. And if it goes correctly, this could be the biggest thing in all of professional wrestling, period.
Yeah, there was something about this promo where I'm just like, oh, instead of fighting, and I'm like, it took me a minute. I'm like, okay, I gotta hear him out. And he's like explaining, and I'm like listening, and I'm like, I had to think about it. I really thought about it. Because when Daniel Bryan came back into the ring, not that he was a big deal when Daniel Bryan retired, but I think around that time he was still Shield. He was still like the third guy from the Shield.
Right.
It was all about Rollins. It was all about Reigns. So when he came back, sorry, John, Dean Ambrose and Daniel Bryan, hot commodities.
Yep.
Now seeing them here, both of them here at their full potential. Yes, their full potential. Jon Moxley still has, to me, and people should understand us by now when I say this, but he has this like Stone Cold aura to him.
Yes.
Yes, he's not the guy who every time his music comes on, it's like the glass breaking. It doesn't equate to that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he has the aura. And Bryan Danielson, he's just putting on these matches that are, I can't even explain it. Like
there are no words in the English language.
You want to see them wrestle, but at the same time, you thinking both of them pick one person and train.
Just when they were talking, like my brain didn't even fathom the fact of them being a team. Like it was immediately one-on-one. This is going to be a fantastic feud to watch. But the way Danielson was just like, why don't we team together? Why don't we train people, bring them under our wings and just dominate? And I'm just like, what? Like, does not compute. Like this is oh my God.
Moxley never said a thing yet either.
No, that's the greatest thing. The way like Danielson would make a point and you'd see I watched Moxley for his reactions and he'd be like, and he'd give it thought. And I'm just like, yes, John, listen to the man. He has ideas and I like where these ideas might go. So he told them, just think about it. We'll discuss this later. So I'm just like, I hope this draws out, even if it doesn't end up being a team and they end up fighting one another, that's fine. The fact that they gave us this opportunity now to talk about this on a podcast and talk about this out with, people, it's great. This is something that I honestly, deep down, I really hope that this actually works out and they do turn into a team and they just destroy things, take over, bring people in and just be massive. I want it to happen. I really do.
This needs to happen. I'm just like, and again, because going back to like the Adam Page thing, this is going to be a long-term thing. If I want to wait because I know the buildup and what's ever going to. I didn't know I needed that. That's kind of what I'm getting at here.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It was, it's one of that's the perfect thing for us. Like you didn't know you needed this until it happened. Like, so, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. So following that, we had an interesting promo. We went from an incredible promo to, it wasn't bad. Brandy came out, starts to talk, and then Dan Lambert comes out. Definitely could tell it was great, and I've told this to you just for the podcast. It blows my mind. Brandy's getting booed, and Dan Lambert was getting like praised the whole time. There was that whole like 2 minutes of shut the fuck up to Brandy.
Yep.
And she got thrown off. She absolutely got thrown off.
Yeah.
But I thought
it's funny. Like the fans are completely over the Rhodes family, except Dustin. They're just they don't want Brandy on television. They don't want Cody on television. They don't want him in title matches. They don't want him on TV, period. And the fact that whoever else comes on the screen is an instant face, that go home heat, that X-Pac heat needs to. Yeah, I don't know, but
yeah.
There were some zingers in this promo, though. Ooh.
There were zingers. There were some zingers. Dan Lambert with his, his what do you call her chest? Fake something.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, it was.
Or the last job you had. The last job you had, put your face down or something like that.
Oh my God.
But my favorite part of this, which I actually got chills I got chills where she looked at Ethan Page and goes, the only reason we signed you was to get to Josh Alexander. I was like,
right to the heart.
I was like, if that's a key to us seeing Josh Alexander, imagine seeing the North in
Well, I mean, they'll
AEW.
have to fight one another first because Ethan Page is not going to take that lying down. But
Mhm.
of having an eventual North reunion, I think would be pretty awesome.
Wow. That was the best part of that. But this whole, now we get the whole Paige Van Zant and Brandy, which I think that's what we're going to, culminate to at Revolution.
Yep. Honestly, though, Paige saved this promo. Running into the ring and immediately attacking Brandy. I'm like, all right, at least now we got some fisticuffs going on. Here we go. Very excited to see what Paige does in this match. I know obviously her MMA career, but how much of the wrestling is she going to be able to do, or is she just going to slap on submissions to Brandy and make her tap out in 5 seconds? I don't know.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Following that, we had Death Triangle taking on Mr. Scott. The House of Black is the Knights of the Black Throne.
The Knights of the Black Throne. Yeah, it's they were originally, I believe it was the Kings of the Black Throne in the indie scene with Brody and Malachi Black. The House of Black is still the thing, but the tag team is the Knights of the Black Throne in AEW, anyways.
Okay. Well, this was something that was, again, I've been trying to follow. I've been trying to keep track of what's going on. And I have watched everything except for, like, I think the second last episode of Rampage. I got to go back and watch still. But this was when I was watching this, and it's like, this is next. And I'm like, what? I was dumbfounded. I was excited. Like, I thought this was, I'm like, are they giving away this? Did somebody miss the memo? This was supposed to be at Revolution? Like,
right.
Like, this is a pay-per-view match. This isn't, no. This was fun. This was great, especially when Pac pulled off his, pulls off the blinds and he has both of his. Oh,
yeah.
This was great. We need a rematch.
Yes.
Where it's a 6-man tag. You bring Ray back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you'd bring in for the House of Black. Maybe PCO would be kind of cool.
I also thought maybe Killer Cross if he were to show up. Exactly, Sam. Exactly. Just throwing that out there.
Oh my God, you get me all hot and bothered, Scott. 2022 is looking like fire. So this was fun. Obviously, Black and King defeated Pac and Penta.
Mm-hmm.
Following that, we had Ruby Soho taking on Nyla Rose, with Rose getting the defeat over Soho. This actually wasn't that bad.
No, it was good. It was good. It was nice to see a good rematch, and Nyla picking up the win here was obviously good for her, but it kind of makes you wonder what they're doing with Ruby Soho now. Just kind of getting bounced around the women's division. So
yeah, my concern with a lot of talent, and this happens not just in AEW, but it happens in Impact, it happens in WWE, it happens across the board, is when you get somebody with this much fire, and then they have that one title match, and then they kind of just like
fizzle out,
and then they're there, and then they do. Christian Cage is one of the few I think I can say it hasn't happened to.
No, he's kept himself relevant with Jurassic Express.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he's relevant. He's still like, I'm here. Like, even though I'm not wrestling as much, I'm managing, and I like how he kind of stepped. I love the in-ring ability, but I love how he's stepping back.
Yep.
And he's like it's
great. Yep. Him and Matt Hardy, I think, have been doing the best job of that. Like, they're still active wrestlers, but they are more managerial till now. So I think I like that a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Now, following that, we had heard from the champion come out. We now heard Dan Lambert come out a second time, which I was a little like, the only time I've ever seen somebody really do this was MJF at the moment. It's the only person I can think of who's come out more than once at a show. Or Jericho, sorry, one of those two. Dan Lambert comes out a second time because he's also backing Lance Archer to go after Hangman.
Yes.
Which, let me tell you, when I was watching, I don't know if somebody texted me or whatnot. I totally forgot about it. When I was catching up on Dynamite and I saw Lance Archer come out that first time a couple weeks ago, I was like, I just started slamming my desk while working. I'm like, let's go. Let's go. Oh, I was so excited. So excited. But we have this Texas death match next week for the title.
Yep.
Is it going to be 40 minutes like these other matches have been? Like,
I don't know. It's gonna be insanity. I'm assuming the champ's gonna retain, but how Archer's gonna lose, I think, is gonna be the most interesting part of this.
Somebody's going to get involved who shouldn't have gotten involved.
Correct. I feel like this, with Lambert out there now, I feel like this might be a swerve and maybe have Men of the Year come out and possibly cost Archer the title match, because Lambert got embarrassed by Lance Archer. So why not try to rue him and, get him into a false sense of security and then attack at the greatest moment. And I think that would be at the championship match to get his revenge.
Yes, is going. Lance Archer is one of those talent, and again, you can't always have everybody on the top, but Lance is like somebody you can't get enough of him. That's why I imagine him like against Killer Cross. Imagine him against Dustin Rhodes. Imagine him against Keith Lee if he comes over. Imagine him. You could go on and on and on. But let's talk about what has happened, what finally has happened. What confused me, and this is why I bring up why that other match is it going to be a 40 minute to an hour match. I did not expect the main event to start this early.
No, this was a long ass match.
It was like 15 minutes after the hour, I think. It was like 9:15 this match went on. This match delivered.
Twice. Technically.
And I didn't check Twitter, and I didn't have the volume on when I watched this. I might have to go back and watch it again, because I was in a room with kids and whatnot, so my volume was kind of low. So I think you texted me that he got pinned the first time. Let's keep that in mind, guys. CM Punk, MJF, CM Punk loses technically twice. We can get technical. Pinned twice.
Now, before we start talking about this match, who predicted this months ago? The first month that CM Punk came back, who did we talk about? And I said it would be the first person he would lose to.
Oh, yeah.
So, from this day forth, I
Scott
also, besides
Stradamus.
besides being the Vince's voice of reason, I am now the Nostradamus of professional wrestling. Because I called this shit, and it happened not once but twice.
Yeah, and I think you brought it up, and I think I was pretty much backing that idea because it just made sense.
You definitely did.
It was one of those things where it's like, first of all, how do you get more heat on MJF than pinning somebody like CM Punk
in Chicago?
Not once, but twice.
Well, technically, he pinned him only once. He choked him out that first time because he was using the tape from around his wrist.
Oh, it was the chain.
And he had it so perfectly positioned that the ref did not see the tape. So when Punk passed out, Punk tried to get rid of the tape, but I think he dropped it, and Remsburg found it. And when that whole shenanigan thing happened, I was just like, I was too busy freaking out because I couldn't believe that what I thought would actually had happened. And then they restart the match, and at that point, my heart sank because I'm like, Christ, okay, now Punk's gonna win. I'm like, God damn it! And then when he didn't, thanks to Wardlow, this match was so good in so many levels. so happy the way this all worked out. And now MJF, he needs to be in the title picture like yesterday.
This is what I've been like. The best champions are heel champions, especially the ones who talk mad shit. Yeah, sure. Okay, Brock is good. We can do his 50-minute this and that, and Paul Heyman comes out and talks shit, or Roman. You know what? You know who I think one of my favorite modern champions in WWE is that you'll probably guess who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Who's probably the best shit talker they have in that company? The Miz, as the IC champion.
Yeah.
Because they have the title, they shit talk like they're the greatest thing in the world.
Yep.
And they can't be defeated.
Yep.
And it's gross. It's disgusting. But I love it because you want them to get the shit kicked out of them so badly. And as they can't get shit, the heat grows and grows and grows. Imagine him now. If he gets that title from Paige.
Yep.
And holds it for over a year. What? He's the guy who's going to have it for over a year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Easy. We need to find then a young face that can build his way up and eventually take the title. But yes, I agree. Once MJF wins that title, you know what? Actually, I'll call this now. When MJF wins the title, he'll hold it for the year, but the man that will defeat him will be Wardlow. Ooh, Sam did not expect that.
I didn't, but it makes sense. So does he win the title with Wardlow?
Yes. I think Wardlow finds a way to help MJF secure the title, and then they just continue going for a little bit. I think the current heat between the two will cool down for a while, and then I don't know, something will happen, and MJF will pin this on Wardlow, and then he'll finally snap, and then Wardlow will challenge and take the title.
Or Wardlow is smarter than that. Wardlow helps him get the title because Wardlow knows MJF can't win without him.
True.
And then he double crosses him and then puts himself in the title picture because who's going to come out? Sean Spears?
Right.
Yeah, he'll get his ass kicked. Yeah. FTR hasn't really come out because they're not.
I can honestly, though, I could see Wardlow going through every member of the Pinnacle to get to MJF. And I have a feeling that's probably what will happen. But it'll be kind of like the Trials of Jericho. But this time, I think Wardlow will win out. So he may not hold it for a year. This might be like a 6-month thing. And I'd be fine with that. Give Wardlow his roses and then figure out what happens after that.
Yes. But I think also Wardlow, I think MJF, with the amount of heat he has and what he's done to get these defeats against Jericho, against CM Punk, against Darby, he needs to hold this title in a healthy amount of time.
I do. No, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's that interesting conundrum because it's like Wardlow has all this face value right now, and MJF has all this heat, and it's like, how long do you wait before Wardlow kind of falls out of favor with the crowd, and then you lose your opportunity? But at the same time, we don't want MJF, who's gained all this heel heat, wins the title, and you want him to have a long reign so that it can build up that I need you to get your ass kicked, like what happened with Omega. Like, I want that to happen. Also, maybe is it still too early for MJF to win the heavyweight championship? Maybe he wins the TNT title first. Maybe they're doing a super slow build with MJF and they don't want him in the title picture first because now Adam Cole put his name in there. Adam Cole and Adam Paige, Battle of the Atoms, might be what's next on tap. So maybe focus MJF on the TNT title first. Have him take out Sammy. Then run with that for 6, 7 months, 8 months. MJF drop the title and then move up to the heavyweight championship. I'm just thinking about this now, so I'm just like, all right, well, maybe try this for. I don't know, just spitball, throwing stuff at the wall.
I like your thought process because Whether it's now, whether it's in 5 years, MJF is going to have a title run that's going to be long.
Yes.
And it's going to be unprecedented as a heel. And I just cannot wait to see what happens. Like this is because I think I said to you when we were talking about this initially, I remember going, MJF beating CM Punk will be heat like no other.
Yep.
And we got it.
Yep. It was great. Oh my God.
Well, want to quickly hop over. We haven't watched, but I did promise everybody who listens to us, we don't buy our tickets, but we still sit at the station when the Impact train rolls by, and we want to keep you guys in the loop. This week's episode of Impact, we have Digital Media Championship match between Jordan Grace and Matt Cardona, kicking it off with Matt Cardona becoming the new Digital Media Champion over Grace. Jonah taking on Crazy Steve, with Jonah getting the win. Jonathan Grisham taking on Steve Macklin, with Macklin defeating Grisham by disqualification. Mm-hmm. Vincent taking on Alexander, with Alexander getting the W. John Schuyler taking on Bapinder Gujar. I can't pronounce that. With Gujar defeating Schuyler. Sorry, that's... is that somebody from Ring of Honor? Bapinder Gujar? Does that sound right?
That does sound about right. Either that or he's been somebody tucked away on the Impact Wrestling roster. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Okay. So then we had Masha Slemovich taking on Kak Lennox, with Slemovich getting the win. Wow. Okay. We've definitely been out of the loop for a bit. We've done the main event, an 8-man tag match. Bullet Club, Chris Bay, Jay White, and the Gorillas of Destiny taking on the Inevitable, Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, Jake Something, and Speedball Mike Bailey, with the boys getting the W.
Getting that too sweet on.
And from my understanding, I don't know if we talked about this beforehand, Tommy Dreamer is back with Impact after everything that had happened.
Yep.
So once Scott and I decide that we have nothing better to do, we will definitely hop back on this for you guys. Last but not least, AEW Rampage this week. Man, we opened up with, again, his music might be the best theme song. You know why, Scott?
Because it's
all about the boom. That's right, Adam Cole taking on Evil Uno and getting the win. Evil Uno, every time I see him go solo now, he gets better every single time.
Yep.
This was a great, great opening match. So
and it seems to be like Adam Cole seems to be opening up Rampages for like the last 3-4 weeks now. And I've just been so accustomed to turning on Rampage and immediately hearing it's all about the boom.
Wouldn't it be ironic if they do that with him, or he's always on Rampage, due to the fact that he never went to the main roster, and they probably would have sent him to SmackDown as a manager, being like, yo, you were going to do this to him. Guess what? It's going to be all about the boom going on Fridays from now on.
Oh, my God.
Think about that. Really think about that for a minute.
It's true.
They wanted him to be a manager.
And change his name and cut his hair and do all this ridiculous nonsense. And I'm just like, why? Why would you ever do that? Ever?
I don't care. It's all about the boom. He's here to stay. He did have a promo later on in the night saying how he's the best wrestler. No, it was after the match that he was the best wrestler and he deserves to be in the title picture.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. We need that. We need that, Scott.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Following that, we had a TNT Championship match with Sammy Guevara taking on Isaiah Cassidy and winning. Mm-hmm. This was fun. This was a good time. Again, Private Party. We need to see more Private Party again. I miss these guys. These guys have always been great in the ring. At the end of this match, we had an interesting where Andrade came out.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt Hardy came out. And Mark Quinn came out. and they kind of like surrounded Sammy. But then we had Darby come out.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact that Andrade is trying to sign Darby to join the AHFO, and he thinks that he works for Sting, which first of all is hilarious in its own right. And the fact that Darby just looks at him, and I guess Jose tried to hand him the contract again, and Darby kind of slides over to stand by Sammy, and that immediately makes Andrade and Matt and everybody else kind of get out of the ring. And then we have the stare down between Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin. Darby doing the double pats on the undisputed TNT Championship. And yeah, Darby and Sammy, gimme. Oh my God. That match is going to be absolute bonkers.
It is going to be fire. I didn't know I needed this match so soon. I'm looking forward to it. Following that, we had Mercedes Martinez taking on Thunder Rosa.
Yes.
I forgot about this. I totally forgot about this. This was good. You know, I will always watch Thunder when she's on.
It's true. I do like the fact that we had the very ultra rare disqualification with Martinez grabbing a ginormous lead pipe, smashing Thunder Rosa with it, getting DQ'd. Then we find out that it was the DMD herself, Miss Britt Baker, that put Martinez up to trying to take out Thunder Rosa. So we all know that our favorite dentist is a little worried about Thunder Rosa. So
yes, I can't believe this feud is still going on.
I know it's good though. It's good though. I like the fact also that she's kind of, or that Britt Baker's kind of making Jamie Hayter have to step up to the plate, saying that she couldn't get the job done, so she needed Martinez to do it. Martinez and Hayter in a match, I would assume, would happen sooner rather than later, and that will be a very hard-hitting affair, and I am very excited for it because, again, Mercedes Martinez, another person that WWE dropped the ball on. So, yeah, I'm very happy she's here. She adds more credibility to the women's division that still needs more. And, yeah, I'm excited to see. She will easily be a champion at some point during her run here. Easily.
Oh, she will be. She will be. There's no stopping that. Probably TBS. Probably take the TBS off of Jade. I mean, that would be TBS off of Jade, maybe.
Maybe. Or maybe whoever eventually defeats Jade, because I don't think the heel on heel fight would. I don't know. Mercedes needs to beat up on somebody as a heel, not as a face, for it to fully work. She's one of those people that are really, really good as a heel. Like, she just oozes that I'm a bad bitch and I just need to punch people in the face. Kind of like how Jade is. So I don't know. Well, now that I think about it, who's the baddest bitch of the block between the two of them? So that's a good point, sir. Maybe. Who knows?
The battle of the bitches.
Battle. In a good way.
Yeah. So finally, we had Ricky Starks defending the FTW Championship against Jay Lethal. This might have been one of my favorite opening promos for a main event for Rampage. Because usually you have, and again, a lot of the younger talent still needs work on the mic and whatnot. But you got Ricky Starks, who's incredible on the microphone.
Yep.
And Jay Lethal. Like, Jay Lethal they need to make sure, for reasons like this alone, he needs to stay in the front.
Yep.
He, like I said, the Briscoes and Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal needs to stay up front and center with this company because just, first of all, his promo skills are incredible. This match was great. I loved every bit of it. Even my buddy Rob hit me up. He goes, dude, I need more Jay Lethal. And I go, we all need more Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal is one of the most complete professional wrestlers that I've ever seen. And I know he has had some extracurricular stuff that hasn't exactly been the best thing for him, but you can't deny his wrestling ability and the way he is on the mic, the way he is in the ring. And let me tell you, the finish to this match was absolute perfection. Jay Lethal going for the lethal injection, his springboard cutter off the ropes, and Ricky is able to grab him mid-air and drop him in the Rochambeau. I hopped off my couch watching this. I was like, that was flawless. Ricky retains the FTW championship. But my God, I want this to be a thing. Let it be a feud. Let it keep going. Please, dear God, let this keep going. Because yes, Jay Lethal needs to not be on Dark, not be on Elevation. He needs to be on Rampage more, and he needs to be on Dynamite more. It needs to happen.
Yeah, you got a star. You got somebody who's not just a. And I get it. The roster's big. You got to try to train in a lot of new guys. But you got to make sure you rotate them. You got to do as like New Japan is good with that. Ring of Honor's been good with that. Even Impact right now. Impact is really good at rotating people, but making sure people don't get out of the spotlight unless they are like taking time off or whatnot.
Right.
That's what they need to do. And I want to put emphasis. Jay Lethal. Jay fucking Lethal. Lethal injection. Make sure you make it happen on Dynamite. Well, Scott, 2022 is only beginning. You and I, we have a lot planned. Guys, Above the Ring is going to the moon. We're going to the moon this year, guys.
Yes, sir. The return house is upon us.
Yes. Yes, PODCAST-HAUSEN is upon us. Very long, very evil.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you listen to Ship It Studios. Back to the Ring. We got a lot going on this year. Scott and I have some other things in the works that we're hoping to bring back. Hopefully, some shows we can show up to. Scott's working with EWTA.
Yep, they have their show coming up next Saturday, so I will be traveling to Derby, Vermont, about 45 minutes north of me. I can sneeze and end up in the Canadian side of things, so that'll be a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm going to be live tweeting the show, but I will be covering it, and we will have ourselves an exclusive on this show, so be on the lookout for that.
Yep, and we're going to be bringing back a couple more interviews this year. Our interview was it Catch a View from Above the Ring?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did my my second interview last night, actually. So it'll be coming out next week. It's with my good buddy Jesse. We talk a lot about our history, and we take some stock in the current professional wrestling landscape and talk about what might happen within the next 365 days.
Yes. So, guys, just keep a lookout. Like I said, follow some good pods. We do have a sponsorship with Riverside.fm. You can hear that. And somewhere in this podcast, I don't know where it's going, but by the time you listen to it, you've already heard it, and you're like, they've gone corporate.
Yeah,
I'm not selling out.
Sold out.
But guys, thank you for listening. As always, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Above the Ring. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Above the Ring. Don't forget to follow us on the Ship It Studio pages. That is our partnership. We are their podcast network. We're on all media platforms. If there's something you cannot find us on, please let us know. We're thinking about starting Discord so we can kind of communicate, guys, with more of you. We like Twitter, but I think Discord, we can have more conversations, more ideas get thrown out. On your streaming platform and device, please make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review. Tell people why Bedlam Media, Above the Ring, Ship It Studios. I did say Bedlam Media, but I'm not cutting that out. It's the podcast of your choosing and why they should listen to us as well. Guys, thank you so much for listening. As always, don't forget to ship it, and do not forget to join the Bedlam.